Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever looked at a vintage truck and thought, what on earth were the engineers thinking? We are not talking about your average pickup or highway semi. We are talking about the forgotten giants, the daring design experiments, and the mechanical oddities that time almost erased. Today, we are unveiling 10 of the most bizarre vintage trucks and heavy machines you have likely never seen before. From fire trucks powered by literal jet engines to Soviet off-road beasts that defy the laws of physics, these vehicles are the definition of strange. Which one of these mechanical marvels is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the weird world of heavy machinery. Let's start our list with something that sounds more like an aircraft than a fire truck. In the swinging 60s, American LaFrance wanted to solve a critical problem: speed. Meet the Aero Chief. This wasn't just a truck. It was a vision of the future powered by a genuine Boeing gas turbine engine. Yes, you heard that right. A jet engine in a fire truck. The design was incredibly sleek and aerodynamic, featuring a low profile and a wide, expansive windshield that looked like it belonged on a spaceship rather than a municipal vehicle. It represented the jet age optimism where engineers believed turbines were the future of all transportation. The turbine engine offered an immense power-to-weight ratio, producing 325 horsepower but with massive torque, allowing the 30,000-pound Aero Chief to accelerate from 0 to 50 miles per hour in roughly 30 seconds, twice as fast as the diesel trucks of the day. It produced a distinctive high-pitched whine that sounded like a plane taking off, alerting everyone for miles. However, the engineering reality was harsh. The exhaust heat was so intense it could melt asphalt or singe pedestrians standing too close behind it. Plus, the engine guzzled fuel at an alarming rate, making it expensive to idle at emergency scenes. Despite its futuristic appeal, the Aero Chief didn't take over the world as predicted. The high cost of maintenance and the practical dangers of running a jet engine on city streets meant only a handful were ever built and sold to fire departments. Today, seeing one is a rare treat for automotive enthusiasts. It stands as a bold experiment in American history, proving that sometimes engineers are willing to try absolutely anything in the name of performance. But if you think a jet-powered fire truck is wild, wait until you see the next machine. It looks less like a truck and more like a sci-fi fortress. If the Aero Chief was the jet age, the Rosenbauer Simba is pure science fiction brought to life. Designed specifically for airport rescue and firefighting, ARFF, this Austrian-made beast is one of the most visually striking crash tenders ever built. When you see the Simba 6X6, you don't see a standard truck. You see a geometric fortress on wheels. Its angular composite body and massive glass cockpit give it an appearance that is both intimidating and incredibly futuristic. It looks like a vehicle designed to explore the surface of Mars rather than patrol a runway in Frankfurt or Munich. Underneath that alien exterior lies a marvel of heavy engineering. The Simba is built on a massive Titan chassis with an 6x6 drivetrain. It carries over 3,000 gallons of water and foam, ready to unleash a torrent capable of extinguishing jet fuel fires in seconds. Powered by massive twin V8 engines churning out over 1,200 horsepower, this 40-ton giant can accelerate from 0 to 50 miles per hour in under 25 seconds, ensuring it reaches any crash site rapidly. The driver sits centrally in a wide cockpit with panoramic visibility, which is essential for maneuvering around burning aircraft and coordinating rescue teams. The Rosenbauer Simba set the global standard for airport safety vehicles in the 1980s and 90s. It combined raw power with advanced composite materials, proving that form and function can coexist in the most extreme environments. While newer models have replaced it, the original Simba remains a legend. From the wide-open runways, we now squeeze into the narrow streets of Britain to meet a truck with a very peculiar three-penny face. Navigating the tight, winding streets of post-war Britain required a special kind of vehicle, and the Austin FG was the unique answer. Launched in 1959, this truck quickly earned the nickname the Three-Penny Bit because its angular cab resembled the British 12-sided coin used at the time. But this weird shape wasn't just for looks. It was a brilliant safety feature designed for urban environments. The distinct angles allowed the designers to place additional windows in places no other truck had them, giving the driver unparalleled visibility in crowded city centers. The design featured curbside windows located low down in the front footwells on both sides. These small glass panels allowed the driver to see the pavement clearly, spotting children, pedestrians, or cyclists in what would normally be a dangerous blind spot. The doors were another quirk. They were rear-hinged suicide doors that were cut at an angle specifically so they wouldn't project beyond the width of the body when opened. This allowed the driver to step out easily in narrow alleyways without swinging the door wide open into oncoming traffic. Mechanically, the Austin FG was a true workhorse, usually powered by a reliable BMC petrol or diesel engine. However, the engine was mounted practically inside the cabin between the seats, making it incredibly noisy and hot for the driver. Drivers often joke that the cab was the heater. Despite the discomfort, its maneuverability was unmatched. It delivered everything from coal to bread across the UK for decades, becoming an unsung hero of the working class. The Austin FG was a British icon, but it wasn't the only one with a strange nose. Our next truck looks like it ran into a wall and just kept going. Staying in the UK, we encounter the Bedford CA, the vehicle that arguably revolutionized the light commercial van market from 1952 to 1969. The CA has a face you can't forget, a distinctively short, pug-nosed bonnet that gives it a friendly, almost cartoonish appearance. This semi-forward control design was groundbreaking because it maximized cargo space in the back while keeping the overall vehicle length compact. This made it the perfect tool for the delivery boom of the 1950s, allowing businesses to transport more goods with a smaller footprint. The Bedford CA was famously versatile and came in various chassis lengths. It was the base for the iconic Dormobile camper van, introducing thousands of families to the joys of the van life long before it became a popular hashtag on social media. One of its most beloved features was the sliding front doors. Unlike standard hinge doors, these slid back along the body, allowing drivers to hop in and out quickly during multi-stop routes. This feature made it an absolute favorite for milkmen, postal workers, and laundry services across the country. Under the hood was a robust inline-4 engine that was easy to repair and cheap to maintain. The Bedford CA featured independent front suspension, which gave it a surprisingly car-like ride compared to the rigid trucks of its era. While it might look quaint today with its split windshield and tiny 13-inch wheels, it was the backbone of British small business and paved the way for the modern Ford Transit. Now, let's cross the Atlantic to the land of wide highways, where one truck decided that aerodynamics was just a suggestion. In the late 1950s, American trucking regulations placed strict limits on the overall length of a rig, comprising both the tractor and the trailer. To maximize the trailer length and increase profits, engineers had to drastically shrink the truck itself. Enter the 1959 GMC Crackerbox. Officially known as the DLR 8000 series, this truck earned its nickname because it looked exactly like a square aluminum cracker box. There were absolutely no curves, just a flat, vertical face pushing against the wind, a design that prioritized dimensions over drag coefficient. The Crackerbox was an exercise in extreme space saving. The cabin measured only 48 inches from the front bumper to the back of the cab. This ultra-short bumper-to-back-of-cab dimension allowed haulers to pull longer trailers while staying legal. However, the ride was notoriously rough. Sitting directly over the front axle in a lightweight aluminum box meant the driver felt every bump, pothole, and pebble in the road. It was also incredibly loud and hot, with the massive Detroit diesel engine roaring right beneath the driver's seat with minimal insulation. Despite the discomfort, the Crackerbox was a marvel of lightweight construction. The extensive use of aluminum in the cab and frame allowed for heavier payloads, making it highly profitable for fleet owners. It featured a unique air suspension system in later models to try and mitigate the harsh ride, but it remained a challenge to drive. It represents a specific era in American logistics where efficiency trumped driver comfort every time. The Crackerbox was tough, but it had a rival. A rival with a bulldog on the hood and a reputation for being absolutely unkillable. When you think of American trucking, you think of Mack. In the cab-over engine era of the 1960s and 70s, the Mack F model was the undisputed king of the fleet. Produced from the 1960s through the early 80s, the F model was built like a tank. It featured a flat nose, a massive radiator grille, and that iconic gold or chrome bulldog ornament leading the way. While it shared the flat front aesthetic of the Crackerbox, the Mack F model was heavier, sturdier, and built for the punishing long haul across the interstate highway system. The F model was famous for introducing the revolutionary Maxidine engine and Maxitorque transmission combination. Before this, drivers had to shift gears constantly to keep the engine in its power band. The Mack powertrain offered incredible low-end torque, meaning drivers had to shift gears far less often, a huge relief in the days of manual trucking. The interior was Spartan, functional, and tight, with a dashboard made of flat metal sheets and simple gauges. To the old-school trucker, it wasn't luxury, it was a reliable home office. This truck became a pop culture icon, appearing in numerous movies and TV shows as the quintessential big rig. It wasn't the most comfortable ride, and climbing into the high cab using the wheel hub as a step was a workout in itself, but it earned the respect of everyone on the road. The Mack F model is a testament to the slogan "built like a Mack truck," surviving long after its competitors rusted away. Mack had the East Coast locked down, but out west, another giant was rising. A truck that turned heavy haulage into an art form. If the Mack was the bulldog, the Kenworth K100 was the eagle. Originating from the West Coast, Kenworth built trucks that were custom-made to conquer the Rocky Mountains. The K100 Cabover is perhaps one of the most beautiful trucks ever designed. With its flat face, dual headlights, and often elaborate paint schemes, it became the poster child for the American trucking boom of the 1970s. It was versatile, used for everything from logging in the Pacific Northwest to cross-country freight hauling. The K100 was designed with the long-haul driver in mind. Unlike the Spartan Mack, Kenworth focused on comfort and customization. In 1976, they introduced the Aerodyne sleeper cab, which featured a raised roof with skylights. This was a game-changer, offering unprecedented standing room and comfort, turning the cab into a mobile apartment rather than just a seat. Drivers could finally stand up to change their clothes, a luxury that was previously unheard of in cab-over designs. This truck represents the golden age of trucking culture, the era of CB radios, convoys, and independent owner-operators. Its bolted frame and aluminum cab construction meant it was lightweight, yet incredibly strong. Today, a restored Kenworth K100 commands high prices and turns heads at every truck show, proving that style and substance can go hand in hand. While Kenworth ruled the highways, our next vehicle was quietly revolutionizing how packages arrived at your doorstep. It's the grandfather of the delivery van. You might not know the name, but you have definitely seen the shape. The Grumman Olson curbside is the blueprint for every UPS or FedEx truck you see today. Its origin is fascinating. Grumman was primarily an aircraft manufacturer, famous for building fighter planes in World War II. After the war, they decided to apply their aviation expertise to the automotive world. The result was a delivery vehicle body made entirely of aluminum, a material they knew better than anyone else. The curbside was revolutionary because aluminum does not rust. In the snowy Rust Belt states, steel trucks would rot away in a few years due to road salt, but the aluminum Grumman kept going forever. Its design was purely functional: a sliding door for easy entry, a high roof so the driver could stand up and sort packages, and a thick rear bumper to handle city traffic. Built typically on a reliable Chevrolet chassis, it combined easy-to-find mechanical parts with an aerospace-grade body that was light and durable. These vans were virtually indestructible. Many produced in the 1950s and 60s are still on the road today, often converted into trendy food trucks or mobile boutiques. The curbside changed the logistics industry by proving that a higher upfront cost for an aluminum body paid off with decades of service life. It's a humble, boxy hero that literally delivered the modern economy to our front doors. So far, we've stuck to the roads, but what if there are no roads? Our next contender is a tiny Soviet machine that can go where no truck has gone before. Now we travel behind the Iron Curtain to examine the LuAZ 969Me, often known as the Volin. While it looks like a toy Jeep or a small utility vehicle, do not let its diminutive size fool you. This was a Soviet creation designed for the harshest rural conditions where paved roads simply did not exist. It is widely considered one of the most capable off-road vehicles of its size ever built, serving farmers, geologists, and the military alike. The LuAZ is bizarre in its engineering choices. It is powered by a small air-cooled V4 engine mounted at the front, the same 40-horsepower engine used in the Zaporozhye city car. However, it features portal gear axles similar to the massive Unimog, which give it incredible ground clearance for such small wheels. It has independent suspension on all wheels and a locking rear differential. Its military sibling, the LuAZ 967, was even amphibious, designed to float across rivers. The civilian 969NAM kept the off-road DNA, capable of crawling through mud that would swallow a modern Land Rover whole. It's crude, noisy, and vibrates like a jackhammer, but it is unstoppable. The interior is essentially bare metal, and the comfort level is non-existent. Yet in the rural villages of Eastern Europe, the LuAZ is a legend. It serves as a reminder of Soviet philosophy. It doesn't have to be pretty, and it doesn't have to be comfortable. It just has to work where nothing else can. The LuAZ is a tiny off-road warrior, but our final truck is a gargantuan monster. A 12-cylinder giant that eats terrain for breakfast. We finish our list with the undisputed king of off-road heavy trucks, the Czechoslovakian Tatra 111. Produced during and after W2, the Tatra 111 is an engineering masterpiece that defies convention. While most trucks use a flexible ladder frame, the Tatra uses a unique backbone tube chassis. The driveshaft runs inside a massive central structural tube protecting it from damage, while the swing axles move independently. This allows the Tatra to keep its wheels on the ground over the roughest boulders and ditches imaginable without twisting the frame. But the real magic is the engine. It is powered by a massive 14.8-liter V12 diesel engine that is entirely air-cooled. That's right, no radiator, no water pump, no coolant to freeze in the bitter Siberian winter or boil over in the desert heat. This made the Tatra 111 incredibly reliable in extreme climates. It produced around 180 horsepower, which was immense for its time and could carry payloads of over 10 tons across terrain where men found it hard to walk. It was so vital to the construction of the Soviet Union that a monument of it stands in Magadan, Siberia. The sight of a Tatra 111 with its wheels angled inward, positive camber, when unladen is unforgettable. It is a truck that was built to last forever, and many are still running today, maintained by devoted enthusiasts. It is the perfect example of how thinking outside the box, or in this case, inside the tube, can create a legend. From the jet-powered Aero Chief to the unbreakable Tatra 111, these 10 vehicles prove that automotive history is full of wild experiments. Whether born from war or pure imagination, each machine has a unique story. Now, I want to hear from you. Which truck was the weirdest? Would you drive the tiny LuAZ or the massive Rosenbauer Simba? Drop your choice in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please smash that like button and subscribe for more mechanical marvels. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.